Boys, today we have quite the interesting mod for you. And this is actually a stadium mod that was created for the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you have not seen the new Buffalo Bills stadium that they're creating, it's actually freaking amazingly beautiful. But this was one of those concepts where just in case fans started putting out random concepts. So it's weird looking, to say the least. It is a dome stadium. So if I look at it on the outside, if I no clip on the outside here, it's going to be even weirder looking. But, I mean, bro, it does kind of work. It's just humongously big. It's actually somewhat similar, I don't say similar size. Actually might be similar size to the actual stadium being built. But, yeah, it's a massive, kind of looks like SoFi Stadium in a way as we go around this stadium. It doesn't look bad. I don't know. I really feel like if this was the stadium without everything, it kind of could work. I'm not saying it would be the most beautiful stadium, but I think low key, it could work. Just, yeah. Anyway, it's also a little bit in the ground because that did not get this correctly mapped out when I imported this stadium. But this is what the stadium looks like from the ground. Like, imagine this part down here being on the ground, because this is like the little entrance area you would walk into. So it's technically underground. It's not supposed to be underground. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But you have like the little area here. It's also a little buggy just because it's, it's the game. But I mean, I think it looks pretty good for what it is. And inside, again, it's going to look a little glitchy inside, given the circumstances. Also, the Bills Stadium is kind of weird inside. Yeah, it's kind of glitchy if you go anywhere else. But I also kind of do like how the field looks. So you can see it says BI. Again, Madden, whenever we do these mods, kind of breaks the game. You'd be surprised. EA Sports did not expect someone to import a complete different type of stadium here. And I'm also trying to figure this out. So the top of the stadium, is that a Buffalo Bill at the top? Yeah, it is. So you guys can see the very top there. It's a Buffalo Bill on both sides. And then, yeah, you know what this kind of reminds me of? Reminds me of a little bit of like the Metrodome Stadium. The Vikings old stadium. That's kind of what it reminds me of, like just looking at this. But yes, this is a concept that I think a lot of people over the years really thought about, was putting a dome on top of the Buffalo Bills stadium. I don't know if that would ever work or they would ever even consider it, because let's be honest, the Bills, they love their snow. They love having snow. They love having that advantage. So putting a dome on top kind of just defeats that purpose. And even their new stadium, while yes, it does have somewhat of a dome area, it's not like as much of a dome that, this would be. Like, this actually is a full-on dome. Which, for better or for worse, I don't think they would ever actually do that. But kind of funny, because looking at it from where it's supposed to be, like the bottom part here is supposed to all be on the ground level. It actually looks kind of better without that. I don't know. I kind of like how it's like, I feel like you could cut off this whole bottom part and it would actually look a lot better, because I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, actually. Maybe not. Maybe that bottom part really does, save it a little bit. But again, like I said, just concepts. I haven't done a stadium mod video in a while. I think someone commented down below and asked me, how do I do these mods? It is a very long process. It is not a very easy process. I'm going to tell you that right now. I use Blender. I use Frosty Mod Editor. You can find that on the Madden Discord. I do not have a tutorial. I create these mods myself. I do all this myself. I have done this from trial and error 1,000 different times. And I will promise you, every single time you think your mod's going to work, every single time you think this is all going to go right, it will break the game. Madden is not ready for this type of mods added to the game. So, yeah, like, for example, it took me 100 tries launching this game before you seeing on your screen right now it working. So just keep that in mind. I was thinking about doing tutorials a long time ago, but there would be so many questions. There'd be so many questions in the comment section saying, "Hey, this didn't work. This didn't work," and yeah, it's not even worth it at the end of the day. Because, well, yes, you can play with this. It's kind of more just like, for show type of concept. But it does kind of look cool, though. I'm not going to lie, like, being able to play on this. But as I throw an interception, bro. Okay, just apparently buns. Also, I have a 3,000 field level type concept. But yeah, again, like I said, I do... When I do these mods, I usually don't play on them because if you play too much, you could end up just breaking the game. But who knows? Maybe this actually won't have any more issues than it had already. I also just realized that the things are on the field goal post. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so they did add the field goal post to the actual thing, which is kind of cool at the same time. Look at that. That's actually kind of dope. Yeah, this field is kind of low-key trippy, but it does work at the same time. Now, with 3,000 yard field, you could see the glitchiness of, there's no out of bounds pretty much. And that's how we're able to go ahead and do the no clip, which again is another mod, which, I don't know, maybe eventually I'll get to the tutorial levels of doing tutorials for everything. I just don't think it's gonna really give much, but hey, maybe I'll eventually do it. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Make sure to like and subscribe button down below. If you want to see a certain team me do this for, tell me down below. I've done a lot on this channel over the years, so, I can't wait for Madden 26. Trust me, I cannot wait. We're going to be no-clipping through every single stadium in Madden 26, talking about all the little details and all the little, nook and crannies that EA Sports wants to have us not think of. But I'll see you guys in the next one, though. Peace out.